Why do men fear taking a paternity test? Let's talk about it. Talk about why men fear taking a paternity test. Men fear taking a paternity test for these two most popular reasons. One, cultural pressure from women and how they were raised, or how men were raised in this culture. What do I mean? What I mean is this: men being raised, in particular men being raised in single parent households, normally with their mother, are given an idea and a blueprint on how to treat women a specific way. And there's only one polar energy in the household. And sometimes, in many instances, a lot of these men are not given a man's perspective on how to treat a woman, but a woman's perspective on how to treat a woman. And it warps the man's sensibility. So based on that particular cultural idea, you know what I mean? Even when a woman has done wrong, a lot of men have grown up in households to respect women regardless of whatever they do. And that idea has actually affected men and actually paralyzed them, because they're torn between their teachings that they learned from their mother and doing the right thing for themselves. Because many young men who are brought up in single parent households, and even in dual parent households where they have a father there, but their father may have come from a single parent household and been taught these lessons on, just to succumb to everything that the woman says, and the woman is always right. Whereas if a young man or a young woman were born in a household where the both parents had respectability and there were roles, and it operated more like a business, where the family had a goal, a singular goal, but working together as a unit. In many instances, you won't have that same kind of dynamic with the child. The young man would have respect for the woman, but he wouldn't just acquiesce to whatever she says, where it would paralyze his frame of thought and him not doing the right thing. So the first thing that I noticed is that the culture here in America has it where a lot of men become paralyzed based on their teachings and their upbringings from their mother. And now, I know this sounds like I'm generalizing for everybody, but this is just a generalization. I know there is always exceptions to the rule. The second thing that holds men back from going after, or stop being afraid of doing a paternity test, is the legal system and how the legal system is set up, and what the individual might have done prior to allegedly having this young lady that he's dealing with being pregnant, or just recently given birth to his child. Alleged child, let me say that. So now you have this dynamic here where the law is in the back of this guy's mind. And I've been involved with a lot of situations because I deal in the paternity testing field, and I have been involved for 13 plus years. And I've seen a lot of different scenarios. And then from my perspective and my lens, because I believe I can speak to this particular phenomenon very well due to my experience in the field, that these men are fearful for what they have done or been involved in, and they don't want anybody to know, at least in terms of the courts, to bring up anything that'll ruffle any feathers, that'll bring any necessary attention, so they become afraid to do the paternity test. Well, I'm here to tell you, stop being afraid. The first step, number one, is, at least with the legal part, the portion of this fear that a lot of men have, is learn your state laws. That's very important as it pertains to paternity testing. Learn those, learn what can be done. That's number one. Number two, if you're not married to the female and you're considered to be the biological father of her child, then don't sign any paperwork, in my opinion. Don't sign any acknowledgement of paternities at the hospital. Don't sign anything until you get a paternity test done. Failure to do so, you then lock in, and it's easier for certain things to occur. I'll be dealing with these other things. I don't want to deal with them too much in this video because I don't want to make this a really drawn out video. But just know, the first thing any man wants to do is understand your state laws. Without understanding that, the basic stuff, then you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage, because most females tend to understand the rules, especially when it deals with these children and the birth and conception of children. The other thing too that you need to be mindful of, if you are one of those guys who get locked into any paperwork, is that and you're still disputing things, child services is very militant in terms of pursuing men. So you want to make sure that you are you well verse yourself in your state's laws, because each state is a little different, and I can't really speak too much generalities, because it would be irresponsible. So these are the two major fears that men have. One is culture, I should say culture, which has been created by females. And I think in order for a man to overcome that, he was going to need to really dig deep and go within himself. And I mean, when I'm saying go in within yourself, I mean learn yourself, learn who you are, and learn where you want to go in life. And once you understand that, and it will allow you to be able to better overcome those little fears in terms of the pressures you may have gotten from your mother. And then if possible, if you have any other, male contemporaries that you trust, in terms of having certain kinds of conversation, whether uncle, your friends in your age bracket, or older men who have been seasoned and who may not have been a victim of the same things that you are dealing with. Because I would tell you right now, I don't really find it advantageous if a man has accepted his fate in terms of certain things. I don't know how much of a help he will be, as opposed to him maybe he could tell you, well, yeah, I made this mistake, that's cool, but I don't think he would be much of a motivation. I think you need to try to find people who are a bit more clear-minded and appear to have things going for themselves that kind of help you along the way, and ask questions. Write your questions down on things that you may be curious about before presenting them to someone that you respect. And hopefully you may have that person. If you have a legal issue, learn about the law as it pertains to paternity. That's what you need to look at. And if not, what you could do is you can go online and punch in pro bono attorneys in your area, whatever state that you're in, and see if you can find any attorney that you can ask questions. Sometimes you can contact the Bar Association and ask them if you have any programs in my area that will allow me to at least contact an attorney, where you can ask a couple of brief questions based on your scenario. And a lot of times you can get like a half an hour for free for an attorney before you start investing, especially if you don't have any money and you're trying to be a bit conservative with your funds. So this way you can ask some questions about state law, so you could be more well versed. And the last gem, again, if a child is on its way, do not sign anything before the child is conceived, and not conceived, but the child is gone through the birthing process and entered our reality here. Do not, please, do not do it to yourself in terms of signing any documentation, and do not let any female make you believe that, or any person, forget just not just females, but any person make you believe that you are obligated to signing any kind of documentation. So just educate yourself, make sure that you're well versed in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in terms of this paternity process. Make sure you're well versed in it. Failure to do so, as the saying goes, we all get what we deserve when we don't stay and remain proactive. I always have to constantly remind myself all the time. But I'm going to end it right here. These are the fears and why men do not take a paternity test. Those are the two most common reasons. And if you like what you heard in this video, please leave a comment below. If you don't like it, also leave a comment below. If you want to add on, leave a comment below. Please like, share with others. Very important. The reason why men fear paternity testing, I've seen it all too much, and I just wanted to put it out there because I don't hear anyone really speaking to the fears of why or I should say men don't take a paternity test. But those are the two most common ones. And I will see you next time. I'm going to be doing this kind of video series every week, once a week, maybe twice a week. So just subscribe to the channel, Shirology. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below, like, share it with others, and if you want notifications, hit the little bell there right next to the button after you subscribe to the channel. Once again, I appreciate you for taking a few moments out to listen to my rant on paternity testing and why men fear to take them, and I will see you next time. Thank you.